to Saxthorpe Farms, and it's April, and it is time to sell off all of the beef cattle. So our kind of experiment of trying to make a bunch of money is coming to an end. I can't keep up feeding this many cows at the moment. We just don't have enough feed to keep this going, although it is a really good earner. It's also very time consuming. So I've picked up another 8 Holsteins for increasing the dairy herd a little bit. That should long term make us a steady income as well. I'm also running a few FERT contracts in the background while I do this, and you'll see so far in game we have spent 3 in-game hours doing this. Playing on ×5, you can do the maths and work out how long I spent driving backwards and forwards to the animal dealer. And I don't think we're done yet. I think there's still a fair way to go. So, yep, we still have a lot of Angus to sell. So, yep, we in fact still have 24 to sell. So 4 more loads, including this one. You can see we've picked up a whole load of contracts. So 17 grand for that fertilizing contract. And we have a bunch more. I think this is the last load of Angus. I've picked up 24 fresh ones to keep the money coming in. So I'll have a chat about that in a bit, because I think we're just going to have a quick look at the finances and see how much we made. So you can see 24 Anguses, 16, and we sold the cows for 213,000 and we spent 50 grand on new ones. So really quite a nice regular profit through that period. And another contract done, so that was 11 grand, and we're up to 232,000, which is pretty good considering we started on 40 odd. So I brought the seeder back. We're going to get everything repaired. I'm going to refuel, so we're pretty much out of fuel, and then we're going to go sell the original horse seeder and pick up a new one. I'm talking about doing this for a very long time, and it is time to pull the trigger. That's why we did the 2 or 3 months of kind of much higher beef turnover, but that has left us with no grass bait. We think we have a little bit of grass size left, hopefully enough to get us through to May, where I am hoping we can pick up a grass baiting contract. I also plan to pick up a grass field for ourselves as well, but a grass baiting contract will give us a nice quick boost of grass bales to get the feed going. There was a thing I was going to talk about. So that's just the FERT coming back. They are done, so I'll give them a quick wash off while I am here. Yeah, I think our loan repayments currently add up to about 14 grand a month. If I do 24 head of beef cattle, that makes us, it's going to make us 20 plus, just over 20 plus thousand, which gives us a bit of headroom on the loan repayment that we have, which is good because we're probably going to have to make some small additions to the loan to be able to afford the field that I want, unless I can get all these contracts done. So there are a couple of big planting contracts. We have the new big planter that we've not used yet, so that should allow us to get through those fairly quickly. There are a lot of root crop planting contracts, but I feel like they're going to be pretty time consuming, so I might pick them up later on. I'll see. We'll see if we have time or enough spare kit. So I'm going to put the planter on the front. I think this might be where some of our random seed was going. I didn't realise that the implements had seed capacity. Now, with this mod, there is actually an additional mod to download the front seed tank, so you can just run it actually with either of the seeders without the pull behind bit. And I did ponder that, but we really don't need it. So having a 12 meter planter and a 12 meter seeder, spoiler alert, we should be pretty good actually. We have got a tether here to pick up. I think the only thing we need for grass funking equipment now is a windrower. So we will have to do that, but we're going to get 23.5 for the main unit, and then 7 and and a bit and 9, and that adds up to about 40 grand. There we go. So a little bit more in. I'm just gonna have a quick scan through the sales. In fact, I already had it. There we go. Quick scan through the sales just to check the seed that I want is not in there. Another Deutz. We really don't need another Deutz yet. So into seeders, and it is this beastie, which is 195. So it's going to cost us 155 ish. I'm going to get the bigger tank for the seed as well, but about 195,000 after we've sold our seeder, which I don't think is too bad for upgrading to double the width, because that's going to just make things so much quicker, about twice as fast. I know, I'm clever. So the bit I didn't look at as I was buying it is the horsepower that's required. So just going back to check. So we need about 300 horsepower. I don't think even the 8280 is big enough, so we will be using Defend. But that's not a problem. That's kind of why we bought it. I don't know if you can hear. I'm recording this on Sunday evening. It is incredibly windy here. I'm really hoping that I don't lose fence panels again tonight. So running proceed. I was going to say obviously, but maybe not obviously. And because I use VCA, we're going on semi-automatic mode, and I'm going to put it up to 36 meter tram lines. That stuff blowing around in the wind outside. So yeah, it means I'm going to need to get a bigger sprayer, but that's fine. We can cope with that. That will be okay. Probably makes sense to upgrade. I think the biggest the current one we've got can go is 28 meters, so probably means getting a pull behind rather than a 3-point mounted, unless any of you know of a 36 meter 3-point mounted one. If you do, stick it in the comments. Or self-propelled. I don't think we're going to have the cash to go self-propelled at the moment, so we will see. Yeah, so I actually sat in the slightly, I don't know if the chassis is smaller. I sat in the 9 something variant of this. Wow, it's a big tractor. When you've got the ladder that runs up the front, you just kind of look at that and you don't really think about it in game. It's quite a way up into the tractor, and it is a big beastie. And we had a few goes around the fence stand, unsurprisingly. When I say we, I mean me and Kartek. And we went back on the Sunday morning. I don't know if I spoke about this since. And we were having a chat about the back end. It's got a fine back end, actually, about the buttons and the exterior controls and stuff. And the whole, don't have the PTO running when you're outside the tractor, don't operate the hydraulics. I'm getting that from Clarkson's farm, but you've got all the buttons to do it. So we were chatting about that, and the sales guy came over and was asking where we're from and all that kind of stuff. And we're like, we play a video game. Part of the garden is lit up. Hopefully that's not a fence panel going down. One moment. It was not a fence panel going down. It's in next door's garden. They have a lot of loose stuff in their garden, so they might be having fun with that. Hopefully none of it appears in our garden. So yeah, so the reason I was worried it was fence panel, I don't know if you remember in the last storm we had here, we had a fence panel fold in half that I had to repair. I've got them replaced yet. Waiting for spring to replace the whole fence pretty much. So that particular fence panel, which was repaired by me in rather a hurry, I put a support against this afternoon. So hoping that it will all stay up. Yeah. Where was it? Yeah. So he was asking about stuff, and I said, I've driven one of these, in a video game. Yeah. So he lost interest at that point when he realised he wasn't actually having any chance of ever making a sale. Actually, one of the nice things about that map was most of the stands you could just wander around, look at stuff, climb in the whatever, and not get bugged. I think the only reason that we had it then is we were very early. It was right at the start of the second day, and there were probably more salespeople than normal people on the stand. So yeah, it was kind of amusing. We had it happen twice on the fence stand actually, because I think I mentioned we were looking at their farm sim setup that had the joystick for steering, and the guy was like, yeah, just next time you're in the dealership, just ask them to throw in the seat arm with your next purchase. Clearly we looked much more wealthy than we both are. And both days, you may not have noticed, but certainly on the first day I was wearing my community hoodie that we got for the creators thing, so it kind of said it even on the front of my hoodie. I don't know. Oh well, it was funny. It's one of those things that gives me something to talk about, I guess. Yeah. So I'm doing this on a Sunday night because Mrs. D is exhausted and has gone to bed, so gives me a little bit of a chance to get somewhat ahead, but not really that far ahead. Yeah. What else was I going to talk about? Multiplayer. So coming soon, trademark, I think I've mentioned this, there is going to be a community multiplayer on probably Fairhead. So it's been running since yesterday for the patrons. So just to give it a little bit of a test to see how it, if what I've set up works and that kind of thing. So it then will be open to the community as well. The only requirement is that you're actually part of the community. So basically, I think I'm level 6 or above on Discord. It doesn't require you to chat that much, but at least it requires you to be a little bit engaged with the community. So if you're interested in taking part in that and you're not on Discord already, go get on Discord and start chatting. So link below. And if you are, keep your eyes peeled, because I'll be posting some information probably a little bit later this week. I might even do a little look round on one day this week. This we spoke about, I'd say we, probably because it was people that were playing on here or have played on here. We spoke about both of Farms in Briscoe's maps a lot at Llama. Very popular mods, both maps. And yeah, it was interesting. So we spoke about the fact that along with being, yes, I really like when maps are accurate to the area, but they also need to be playable. And I think I said Kartik and I spent part of the evening chatting to VF and his brother, and VF apparently drives through this area every single day, or used to. And he said that the small changes that FSB has made to this map really make it work in game. So personally, have never been there to know how it varies, but yeah. And he's doing his realism experiment on here. I'm doing this on here. Kartek's playing on here. So and Reva, VF's brother, is part of VF's realism experiment. So all four of us play on the map. So yeah, it was kind of cool to just sit and chat. And one of the really nice things about those 2 days was just chatting to people in person about the game. It was kind of cool. On here, let's get back to what I'm up to. So I've been putting the tram lines in, using my general technique of when I'm starting a tram line, I drop it just in front of the headland one, and that links them up. And then once I'm into the headland, I switch the seeder off but leave it down. That creates a tram line without overseeding the existing one, so you can get it all to tie up relatively well. In case you're new, why do I do this? Because it doesn't really matter in game. I like the look of how it is visually in game. I accept that I take a little bit of a hit in yield for the visual effect. I think it adds to how the map looks, And if you've got a seeder, a sprayer that matches up, it makes that job so much quicker. So yeah, that's why I do it. Majority because I like the way it looks. So we are about to run out of fertilizer, and although the farm is just there, because we were so close to being done, I couldn't be bothered to go and refill. I want to run over the field with fert again anyway once it's grown in to get perfect fertilization. So we will cover it then and address this little gap. This is a field that we could potentially get wheat in. It's not been ploughed. It was maize that was foraged and then mulched, and then we're seeding into the mulched field. And yep, we will potentially get wheat in here, but I'm going to do the thing that some of you don't like, probably most of you don't really care about, and that is I am planning to just browsing the contracts that I have active still, so a bunch of sowing contracts. I am planning to, and in fact I am now, weeding the field before anything has germinated. I know, shouldn't do that. What am I pulling out? I'm probably just destroying the seeds that I've planted. But you know what? It works. So I'm just also looking around at fields, grass fields to buy. Field 7 is an option. It's pretty cheap. We need to borrow a little bit, or field 4, which is a bit bigger, but not quite as good quality soil. So the yields might be similar. We'll have to see. But yeah, having done the experiment in the wheat field, was it wheat? Where I didn't weed it until the next growth stage and then couldn't pull all of the weeds out. I was a bit disappointed. There is a weeder now on ModHub that weeds and hoes at the same time. That might do the job, but we've got this big weeder, so we're just going to use it. And did I say I was planting sorghum in here? I don't remember. Anyway, we also want to get courseplay going on the rolling of this field. The other implement that was at Llama, which was really interesting, sorry if I'm boring you talking about Llama, and it was actually one that I saw on Joe Seal's one. I don't remember the name of it, but it was to deal with persistent weeds. So it was to deal with things like rye grasses and black grass, and it chopped the top of the weed off and had conveyors to pull all of the debris into a hopper. And we were musing as we looked at it whether that would be something someone could implement for a final weed growth stage weeder, so that you didn't have to spray. You could still weed in the final growth state when the weeds are a bit more established. And yeah, we thought that might be kind of cool. But I'm going to have Courseplay run the rolling, and I'll finish weeding, and that means this field done. We can move on. I'm just going to load up my planting list. So we still have fields 9 and 10 to plant with soybeans, which we can use the new planter for, new seeder. And then 19 needs to be sunflowers, and 20 is going to be corn. So ideally, we will get all of those planted this month so that they are ready to harvest as early as possible. I had intended to put in some of the new root crops. We brought the ridger in preparation for that, but currently don't have a field to put them in. So we might have to buy a new field. That might be a future thing because we picked it up in sale, so it doesn't matter. It's just sat there. It's not being used, so it's not going to get more expensive to repair or anything like that. So I'm just going to not worry about it too much for now. Yeah. We really need to be able to afford a root crop harvester first. Yeah, so we'll kind of hang off on that maybe until I'm kind of tempted to pick up one of the modded ones when we get there. So something which has a capacity, I might use the Thor variant, but not a cheaty version of the Thor variant, or one of the other ones, just to make it a bit easier, to be honest. The fields on here are big. I don't want to be dealing with that many boxes of vegetables. And I'm not sure yet. I haven't tested, but I'm not sure if Courseplay and Auto Drive have been updated properly to work with the new root crop harvesters. Don't know. don't get through the game that quick enough to really see. So, yeah. It's actually one of the things that I find a little bit frustrating is the pace that I get through things in-game. That's potentially worse with doing less each week, but I'm kind of tempted. I want to do a little bit more. But I think after we've done a year on the Valley of the Old Farm, I'm probably going to stop that series. Mainly as I find it quite hard to make because it's not really convenient to play on the PlayStation that much. Particularly, it would be better if Joker wasn't struggling with dementia. Like, I could have gone upstairs and played on there this evening, but apart from the storms, because Disco hates storms, but don't particularly want to leave him down here on his own with just his 3 brothers. So yeah, I'm finding it quite hard to really to actually get stuck into that one properly. It feels like so, but I'm going to do a year on there, and then we'll see. I might then wrap that one up so that I can predominantly focus on the 2 series that I'm doing, but maybe with a few other things. There's so many things that I want to do, and yeah. Well, are we going to crash? Are we going to crash? We are not. Yay, us. Almost like I planned. So I think this is potentially the last row. So hopefully I haven't missed anywhere. And we are pretty much done. So I say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. You are all awesome. If you've enjoyed the video, click the like button. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, stick them below. And I'll try and stop talking about llama as we go forwards. This was a bit funky. Can you see they look like brake discs to me, but they also look kind of messed up. Forgotten about that. Yeah, I think that needs a tweak. Anyway, I will see you next time. I think. Yes. Bye.